I took out the knife and I made just a little cut at her neck as she screamed and grabbed her neck. I started doing it again. And she was still conscious and said, "Why are you killing me?"
Prepare to be shocked and disturbed by one of the most bizarre and morbid cases known to humankind. Then 17-year-old Keith Randulich, who, while left alone with his innocent 4-year-old sister Sabrina, committed the unthinkable act of murder using a kitchen knife. But the twisted and unsettling nature of this case doesn't end there. When authorities interrogated Keith, his lack of remorse was chilling, and the reasons he gave for his heinous crime were downright bizarre and perplexing. It's a disturbing glimpse into the mind of a killer, and one that will leave you questioning the very nature of humanity itself. Before we go into the interrogation video, let's take a look how everything unfolded. Keith Randulich was a seemingly well-educated young man who graduated from Lincoln Way East High School and attended primary university. But despite his promising future, Keith committed an unspeakable act of violence, the brutal murder of his own 4-year-old sister, Sabrina Clement. It was May 22, 2009, when the tragic incident occurred. Keith and Sabrina were left alone at home while their parents were away. But when the parents returned, they were met with the devastating news that their youngest child had been viciously killed by her own half-brother. The details of the murder were horrifying. Sabrina had been stabbed multiple times in the neck with a steak knife, and her body was found in the basement of their Mokena, Illinois home. When questioned by police, Keith shockingly confessed to the murder, claiming that he had killed his sister to save her from sexual assault by a family member. But investigators found no evidence to support this claim, and Keith's lack of remorse was chilling. He even went as far as to say that he believed he was saving his sister by taking her life. As if the murder itself wasn't disturbing enough, investigators uncovered even more unnerving details in the basement of the Randulich home. Horror films, death metal music, and rubber clown masks. It was a glimpse into a world of darkness and terror that few could even imagine. Sabrina's parents were left reeling from the shock of their daughter's death and the horrific truth about their own son's involvement. Keith's promising future was now forever tarnished by this unspeakable act of violence, leaving us all to wonder how such a bright young man could have committed such a heinous crime. When the interrogation began, Keith was cooperative with the officers. He spoke clearly and was calm. Detective Luthen and Detective Trinke conducted the interrogation. At the very beginning, Keith understood that he had done something terrible and was speaking in past tense. Also, he mentioned that he had a future.
Sports or anything? No, but I mean, yeah, I had a future, you know. I didn't do this for no reason. Yeah.
Keith told the interrogators that he tried to force his mother into buying him a gun. He mentioned that he got a permit and wanted a gun.
I talked to my mom about moving out. She said that I could stay, but I mean, she said that I just told her that I said that I wanted to move out and to a friend's house, but I didn't really want to do that. I had a firearm permit last week, and I wanted to buy a firearm. She said I couldn't do that, so I was lying and saying I would move to a friend's house if she wouldn't let me buy it.
And at this point, Keith says he intends to use the gun, but not on his sister. He claims he told his parents that he was abused, but they told him not to snitch. The reason for owning a gun was to shoot the abuser and protect his sister.
And I wanted to use this because I'm my little sister. I would tell my parents and they would never do anything about it. And they would say, "Don't snitch," and things like that. That's how that happened.
So you confronted your parents about
multiple occasions for like the past 2 years.
Shocking. After this, he continued to describe the murder.
I killed my sister. He had nothing to do with it. He was in his room. I told him he was watching her because my parents were at his dance. He was watching her. I said I would watch her. So he went up to his room. I took her down to my room, which is the basement. And we just watched SpongeBob, and she said she wanted to paint with me. So I took out a knife and it's very disturbing. I would never have did it. But I just wanted to protect my little sister from my...
What a sick mind. The detectives are not believing their own ears.
So did you guys ever start painting?
Painting?
You said she wanted to paint.
Right. No, I told her that she had to lie down and I would paint with her. That's what happened when I took out the knife.
Did you have the knife downstairs already? Where was the
It was
knife?
in right here.
You had it inside your hoodie?
Yes.
How long did you been carrying the knife for her?
Right, like 5 minutes before I asked to let me watch her.
Why did you want? How come you asked to let you watch her?
So that I could kill my sister.
Okay.
When did you start thinking about that?
When my parents said that I couldn't buy my firearm, I knew that I couldn't kill her. I never wanted to hurt my sister. I just wanted to protect her from... That's it. If you want to hear how she died, I don't know.
Was she laying on the ground?
Yes, and
So you told her to lay down?
right, and she was fully conscious, and she was talking to me during it. If I tell you this now, I mean, you're recording this, I don't have to say it in court or anything, right?
Keith described the murder very vividly. He seems to think that he can convince the detectives that he had had a valid reason for the murder. The following footage is very disturbing.
I told her to do that.
And this was your room, which is
The basement.
the basement. Okay.
Did you tell her that you were going to do this?
No, I just said I love her, and then I took out the knife, and she smiled, and I made just a little cut at her neck, and I withdrew back because I was afraid. And she screamed and grabbed her neck, and she said, "I don't stop." But I started doing it again, and then she started talking to me, and she was still conscious and said, "Why are you killing me?" So then I started on the right side. She didn't talk anymore, but she was still breathing and had her eyes open. So I just ran upstairs and called the police. Then when I came back down, it looked like she died.
Poor little girl. Absolute psychopathic behavior from 17-year-old Keith. After this, the police just asked him again to repeat. He mentioned again how his brother didn't have the slightest idea what had happened and only found out when police arrived. Keith was left alone for 50 minutes after this. After the detectives returned, they went over the case again. They put more pressure on him, but he still kept rationalizing his killing, saying that he handed his sister a quick death so she wouldn't be tormented anymore. The autopsy proved that Sabrina wasn't abused in any way prior, but Keith was speaking the truth except for the imaginary abuser. The signs of Keith's instability were there all along, as his parents suspected. But tragically, they failed to take action before it was too late. Keith was a solitary figure with few friends and a tendency to keep to himself. And yet, from this seemingly unremarkable young man, a monstrous act of violence emerged, shattering the lives of those around him. At his trial, Keith was a lonely figure with no friends or family members present to support him. He stood by his story, pleading guilty to the murder of his sister and accepting a sentence of 40 years without the possibility of parole. It was a sad conclusion to a story that will haunt those who hear it for years to come. A chilling reminder that darkness can lurk in even the most unassuming of places.